What's up, guys? I just want to show you why it's important to check your valve-to-valve clearance when you install a new set of camshafts. It's important because when you have aggressive cams, you may not have proper valve-to-valve clearance. Here's a set of tuner stage 2 cams on some old school STR cam gears set at 0-0. I just want to show you at 0-0 these cams will not have proper clearance, and usually proper clearance you want about 35 thou clearance for valve to valve. So with these I'll show you as it exhaust opens, starts to close, intake starts to open. These have actually touched the it's a stock B18C head, stock valve train, not valve train, but stock valves. And the valve guides are a little bit worn, so here I have is a 5,000 feeler gauge, and you can't really stick it in there. If I force it in there, it'll go in because the valves and the valve guides are worn, so they actually move. But just touching there, I can't get through. So technically these valves are touching at 0-0, and you do not want to just drop in your cams, especially aggressive cams, and set it at 0-0 and expect them to not touch. Now these are on the VTEC lobes, so technically you can say as long as you stay off VTEC you should be fine. Yes, technically, but you don't want to take chances. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and adjust the cam gears until I get at least a minimum of 30-35 thou clearance, and then I have a chart that I fill in, and it'll give me an idea of what cam settings will give me that proper clearance. And I'll go ahead and do that, and I'll show you guys the chart. So after going through the cam gear adjustments to find the minimum 35 thou clearance, these Skunk 2 Tuner Stage 2 cams require a separation of 4 degrees to give the minimum clearance. And you see here, anything above this line is a safe zone here. These cam settings are all good, and these settings below here should be avoided as they don't give the minimum clearance. So having it at 0 and 0, it would be in the no-go area. As you can see earlier, I tried to put a 5 thou feeler gauge in it. It wouldn't even go. It was touching. So once you put the head on and the cams and the motor together, and you check your piston to valve clearance, this area may shrink. So some areas may not allow once you find that clearance. So other factors that can contribute is, this is a stage 2 cam. If you have a stage 3, you're going to lose a lot of the safe zone. It's going to shrink, and high compression pistons and oversized valves will reduce this area. So it's something you need to be aware of, and don't just throw your cams in and get somebody's cam settings off online and start using those settings. It's easy to just set this up and check and make sure you have everything set. With this information, you can help the tuner out a lot. So now I want to show you guys a set of Skunk 2 Pro 1 cams on the same STR cam gears set at 0-0, and we'll see how much clearance we have at 0-0. So right about there. You can rock it a little bit to where it gives you the smallest clearance, but it looks like it's got more clearance compared to the Tuner 2s. And I have here is a 35 thou feeler gauge, and we'll slide it in there, and as you can see, we have clearance. So at 0.0, it does provide more than enough clearance to leave it at 0.0 to get you to your tuner. But you always want to degree your cams in and go through and find where the minimum clearances are with which cam gear settings, so that you have an idea of the range that you can be in and still be safe. So I'll go through and fill in the chart, and I'll show you guys the range of cam settings. Alrighty. So after going through and finding the minimum clearance and determining which cam sprocket settings, you can see here the safe zone is above this line, and comparing to the tuner 2s, you have much more of a range, and this is the no-go zone. So you can see here at 0.0 you had quite a bit of clearance, and it isn't until you retard the exhaust cam at least 2 degrees that you reach the 35 thou minimum. So you still have room here. So looking at the tuner 2s, you can see the safe zone here and the no-go zone. Alright guys, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you guys again.